KABC. And now, back to our show.
Okay, I'm Vince Davis. We're back. The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. Right now we're going to take a call from a special guest, Cynthia Becker. Hello, Cynthia. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. Cynthia is the host of a YouTube show, and that it's also shows on Facebook Live, the reality series CPS, The Horror Stories. Cynthia, tell us what that's about.
Sure. It's very similar to what you do here, except for parents are allowed to discuss their case, whether it's open or closed. And it is an hour or two spent on them. So they get to, it's centered on them. They get to sit there and just explain what's happened in their case. They get to go over what's happened with their children and all of the corruption that goes on with Child Protective Services. And it's pretty amazing. I've had a lot of traumatic stories that are shared on the show. We get a lot of viewers. It's very interactive. People are able to ask questions, so I monitor the comments as we are streaming the show live. And so as people are sharing their story and other parents who may be going through something similar have questions, we're able to ask, and the parents can kind of shed light and maybe answer their questions and just help one another.
Now, are the people that are interviewed, your guests, are they from just California, or are they from all over the country?
No, they're from all over the world, actually. I've had people who are not even in the United States call in or not call in, but share on my show. It's pretty amazing.
So they have CPS in other countries. Is that what you're telling me?
Absolutely. It's all over the world.
Do people in those countries also have, the same stories or similar stories to people who have CPS cases here in America or California?
Yes, the corruption is worldwide. So it may be named something different in their country, but the corruption and destruction that CPS causes is the same everywhere.
You and I were talking earlier this week, and you told me something about the show starting to form a community. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm glad that you said that. I was actually going to bring that up a little while ago. So per state, that it's starting to break down in actually county. The parents are starting groups underneath us, so it's actually the groups are still pertaining to us, the reality series, CPS, The Horror Stories, but parents are gathering together within their states and now even breaking down smaller in their counties and just creating communities and support groups so that they are there supporting one another, and it's pretty spectacular to see that happen.
I can imagine if you were to lose your child, a support group would be a good thing. Fortunately, that never happened to me in my life, but I understand you were involved in something like that at one point in time.
I was. I actually did lose my children to CPS. Luckily, I did get my kids back. But a few things that I struggled with, number one, was feeling all alone. I felt like I was the only one going through that I was the only one that, CPS attacked that was innocent. And then the other thing is feeling my friends and family. People kept telling me, CPS doesn't just take your kids for no reason. You had to have done something. And to hear all of these other parents say that and know that they are struggling with the same thing, and now have people that are in like situations get to communicate and, again, just build that support is something that is so helpful. I've actually had quite a few parents who have been very honest in sharing that either they have attempted suicide or have seriously thought about it, but the fact that our show is available and that there are other people going through this and they are not alone has saved their lives.
Wow. What's one of the worst stories you've heard doing this show?
Unfortunately, recently, I have been told by this father that his children, and I'm not sure if he called the show tonight because I asked him to so he could share his story with you guys, but his children were given to the abuser, which is the mother, who her and her other son, which would be the half-brother, are molesting and raping a 4- and 5-year-old children. And when they found out that the children told on them, they took their guinea pig, their pet guinea pig, into the bathroom with the children and cut off its limbs in front of them to make them aware that if they continued to tell what they were doing, that the abuse was going to get a lot worse. And just so you know, I do see proof of these things to me, so I get to see the court documents and or witness statements or whatever it is. So there is definitely proof. It's not just a he said, she said matter.
Cynthia, if someone, one of my listeners wanted to contact you or, be interviewed for the show, how would they do that?
Sure. So I do give out my personal number on your show, and it is 951-476-6942. And the other thing that they're able to do is they can reach us on our Facebook page, which is the reality series, CPS, the horror stories. And again, I'll give you my number one more time in case somebody didn't have one. 476-6942.
I just have a couple minutes left. I wanted to ask you something, kind of the converse of the conversation. Has anybody complained about what you're doing?
Yes, I have had people complain.
What did they say?
The majority of the complaints that I've had has been the family members of other people just saying, that their story isn't true. And one thing that I tell them is, I'm not a judge, and my job is to allow the parents to shed light on their story, their truth, and what they have gone through. So not everybody is going to agree with them. And then the other thing I had was a social worker comment and tell me how not all social workers are bad and not everybody is in it for the money. And like I told them, I am aware of that as well. But being that I have had a personal experience with them, I do know what part of the truth is. And again, I am not there to judge people or to say everybody is like this. My job is just to share the experience that I and these other parents have gone through.
Well, Cynthia, I want to thank you for calling in. Maybe you'll call in next week at the same time, share some more information with us. We're about to head into our break at the top of the hour. We'll be back with more calls, more stories, more questions. This is CPS. No, it's not the horror stories. It's The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. We'll be back